Yo, what is up, boys and girls? My name is Osmer, and I've done a million takes of this video. I know I can just go back and edit them all together or something. I've probably made enough points already, but I want to do my video styles. I want to keep them like this. Not because I'm too lazy to edit. I've tried editing videos, but the the way that I've edited them, I feel like doesn't convey the things, my expressions, everything that I'm trying to say correctly. I think that editing diminishes a lot of the impact of human speaking. Um, I'm not saying that to be lazy. I do want to find a editing style that works, but this is a video that's not going to be heavily edited. This is one take, me talking, me letting you know, expressing myself. This is a subject that I kind of care about. So I just wanted to talk about it because I was talking about it with my girlfriend, and we talked at length about it for hours, at least some aspect of what I'm going to talk about. And I just want to preface this video by saying I know firsthand experience how bad this shit can be, um, and how harmful it can be to the things you want to do with your life and the success you want to have. So first things first, I'm going to preface this by saying I know both sides of the experience, or at least, I mean, I know both sides of the experience, but I know both sides of the spectrum. My mother is a person who spends all day tweeting about everything Trump does, posts on Facebook about every single thing Trump does, thinks that they're leading a revolution, and doesn't really focus on her own personal life, her friendships, and stuff like that. Um, has probably burned bridges with family members for no reason at all, and just does these things all day because they think, or she thinks, she's personally leading a charge. Nothing against her. She's an amazing woman. But I think she is falling into a bad cycle that I personally see myself fall into with the other side. I want to tell you, this is the first time I think I've ever admitted this to a any group of people more than three. In 2016, 2015, I was unironically a Nazi, possibly a bit into 2017. I don't say, oh, he's a Nazi because he doesn't, he didn't like, or I didn't like, girls playing video games or something. That I'm not using it the way that some people use it these days. I was unironically a Mein Kampf reading person who told my family I agree with Hitler's point on everything and everything he did. I was a probably reprehensible person, somebody who was beginning to fall off the wagon of life and the progress that they could have possibly made. I mean, it's visible to me now that I fell off the wagon around that time, and it led me down a path that I didn't really want to go down in retrospect. But it is a learning experience in life, especially with the point I'm at now, where I am a based centrist. I don't heavily lean either direction, and I feel like it is the most clear my head has been out of that way. And it's certainly allowed me to focus on other things that are important. But I also have some experience in, because you can focus on more than just politics, that can hinder your life and your experiences. But those are just two things I wanted to touch on. For example, after I was done being a literal Nazi, I got a girlfriend who I spent far too much time caring about, especially for the quality of the person that she was and the way that she treated me and all that shit. I spent way too much time and attention on relationships, until even very recently. I'm currently in a relationship, and it's kicking, it's doing good, and I owe that to the wake up call that gets offered to you once in a while. You either choose to take it or you don't. But my wake up call was sort of a split with her, and a change in behavior that I think is important, setting some things aside. But anyways, I'll dive into that. Actually, I'll do that now. So basically, I fell into being far too comfortable with her again. A different relationship where I fell into caring about somebody. Except this time, the person that I care about is actually a fucking great person and has a lot of hobbies and interests and drive and motivation that inspire me to personally do better with myself and And yeah, it wasn't the same with my other relationship. It was essentially both of us inspiring each other to be fucking lazy, stupid idiots. Anyways, what I want to say is you need to first and foremost focus on your own life. That's essentially what I'm getting at with all of this. Because it's easy to fall into an extreme of anything. Too much attachment to anything can be detrimental to your life and the life you want to lead, the life that you thought you saw for yourself. I fell off the wagon. I did a lot of things wrong, and it's cost me a lot of years of my life that I could have spent progressing in other things. And essentially what I'm trying to tell you here is that if you find yourself going into any of these directions or focusing on something too much that isn't giving you as much in return, like for example, it's a good thing to focus on a relationship, but to make that your primary concern in life is where it becomes a detriment, where you spend every waking second, trying to get a hold of that person, or you spend every waking second worrying about that person, what they're doing, letting your insecurities show, through like that. You need to be secure in yourself, and the only way you're going to ever do that is by working on actual security in yourself. Working on things outside of your relationship or your extremist ideals in politics, because you can spend a lot of time wasted on these things that in the end might not matter at all. A relationship can end, but the progress you made during that relationship, the things that you did outside of it, the things you worked on, maybe, let it be art, music, even fucking getting good at video games, literally any talent that can bring you joy, you should focus on that. Make sure it's a balance. I don't want to say you should focus on your art and put it ahead of everything else in your life, unless that's what drives you 100%. You should put consideration into these things and how they're going to affect you, because a lot of times, especially now, jumping back to the political stuff, people will let themselves care too much about something, and it will cost them years of their life, because at the end of the day, when Trump possibly gets voted out of office or he gets reelected, was all of your time spent tweeting really fucking worth it? He's still there, or, he's gone. Did you accomplish anything? I mean, you can say, all my tweets and participation in this stuff got him elected out of office, but the fact of the matter is most of this stuff was going to happen without you. Unless you are a prominent voice in these communities somehow, most of what you're saying or wasting your time caring about doesn't matter. You can watch all the Tim Pool videos you want, or videos about things, about the other side from anybody. You spend all day watching these videos, but if your comment is just getting one like, or your tweets are going out to massive nobody, I think it's time to focus your attempts on something that will actually work and garner you success personally. Because if you spend all day tweeting for, 5 retweets about Trump or about liberals, then your time was essentially wasted anyways. You should have wasted your time doing something that you can progress on. You're not going to be able to spend all your life tweeting about Trump, and you're not going to be able to spend all your life tweeting about liberals. If you do, it's kind of sad, and you probably won't make it to the top 10% of these people, or the top 1% of these people who are making a success talking about these things. You're just being baited into a game that leads nowhere. And also, you should look at your beliefs in those things, obviously, and how much you actually believe them, and how much you are actually just pretending to believe things to make the other side upset. Always view things critically. For example, my base centrist views are, I can't confidently care or give a shit about the right until they express concerns about preservation or the actual way that the world's going. And you can be a climate change denier, but you should give a shit, because there are landfills that are in communities that are destroying the wildlife around it. The Amazon is literally fucking going away. The world is changing, and it's not in a positive light. The physical world, the landscape of the world is changing, and it's not a good light. There's overpopulation. People will say, overpopulation isn't an issue. It is. It destroys societies. Having too many people in one place destroys the society. It can help, certainly it can help people on the top, but that's not what you should care about. You shouldn't care about people that are above you gaming you. You should care about yourself and your own personal interests and how the world's going to get better. You should, like, I can't confidently vote because, like, fucking conservatives care so adamantly about being pro-life, even though when the fact of the matter is most of them in their own personal lives don't actually give a shit. A lot of this shit's just hypocritical shit. I say the center of it, you shouldn't be advocating for, the latest term abortion possible just to fucking get in somebody's face. You shouldn't be doing these things to get people upset. You should always hold things in a light and be able to look at things critically. And that's what's most important, essentially, especially when it comes to politics. That was just me touching on politics. It's not something I really want to dive into anymore because, like I said, I can't adamantly care about it anymore. It ruined too much of my life, caring so much about something that in the end, I ended up voting for a president who fucking did fuck all and hates cryptocurrencies, which is how I live comfortably or have, paid rent for this apartment and shit. It's just tough to care about those things. You shouldn't. You should focus on yourself first and foremost. And also I want to touch on caring too much about the relationship, because the wake-up call I had with my girlfriend or whatever was essentially her bringing it to my attention that I do nothing. People aren't attracted to people who don't do anything or don't have any drive or, attempts for success. If you show an attempt at caring about something, people will see that. You shouldn't, because I grew up in the light of, this is a rambling video at this point. I grew up in the light of everything is fucking stupid. You shouldn't care. You should care. You should care a lot about your own well-being and the things you're interested in and finding interest in things that you care about. That should be your biggest concern in life, not everything else that's going on. You should care about yourself personally. Finding peace within yourself is important, especially in today's society where everybody is insecure and full of anxiety and depressed and just fucking, it's a cool thing to be self-loathing and hate yourself. In today's society, you should spend your time focusing on yourself and what's positive about you and what you are like and what you want. Because like I said, my relationship fell off the track there a little bit, but I had that wake-up call, and it's brought to my attention that I should care about things. I've recently started streaming, but I will admit that my streams of late haven't been amazing. I need to put more work into them. I can't just rely on the fact that I hit the start streaming button. I need to put more effort into things like this and show that I care about things, because people will take notice. People won't watch my streams. People won't care. And you can't just say you're going to do these things either, because people will be able to see through that shit too. Because I spent a lot of my relationship making promises that I would do things that I never ended up getting around to, just to make the other person happy. And you shouldn't do that either. You should always make it your main intention to actually pursue some sort of change. And it can be difficult when you are depressed or you are afraid or there's something, that's going wrong in your life. But I can't complain. Right now, I live comfortably. I have a year's rent paid off. I have very minimal amount of bills. I barely work. And, I have a lot of time to do things. I spend it wasting time. And recently I've tried to change that. I spend a lot less time wasting time. And that's what you should care about. I'm starting to lose my voice a bit. But, yeah, that's all I really want to talk about, is you should stop caring about all this other shit that won't get you anywhere. You should focus on yourself. Find what you're actually interested in, because I know a lot of people today don't have any fucking interest in anything. I know because I dated a person like that. I know because I have friends like this. They don't care about anything. I'm not saying you shouldn't care about anything. You shouldn't care about politics. You should pay attention to them, be aware of what's going on in the world, but you shouldn't spend all fucking day tweeting about it if it gets you nowhere, or spending all fucking day complaining about it in a Discord server full of people who already fucking agree with you, because it won't get you anywhere. Sitting in an echo chamber, either on Twitter or in Discord or anything like that, and just constantly spewing the same shit day after day, you're not going to get anywhere. What you need to do is focus on yourself and make sure that is the thing that you hold most important. And if you catch yourself falling into these cycles where you spend 10 hours a day on Twitter or 10 hours a day on YouTube watching videos about politics, or even fucking gameplay videos on YouTube, and you catch yourself doing these things like I have recently, you need to take the initiative to make the change as fast as you can before you end up fucking being, 28 years old back at your parents' house and just not doing anything and complaining about how you're depressed, even though you make no attempts at changing your life. I'm not saying you can just stop being depressed, but I'm saying you can make attempts at progress even when you are depressed. I know personally, firsthand, because I have made changes and I have seen and caught myself, even when I was depressed and felt like I couldn't do anything about it. You make the smallest little changes and it leads to the biggest opportunities you're going to get. I remember, I'm just going to keep going, it's already 15 minutes. I remember being getting out of community college and just being like, I don't care. And then going back to community college and actually giving a shit, even when I was depressed, and slowly starting to try and get more effort in my classes. And then the rewards came one after another. And I got so close. And I wanted to go back and finish up community college because I need 2 credits. I need not 2 credits, but 2 classes. And that's it. But you need to make the initiative to get these things because they're not just going to fall into your plate. You need to make whatever efforts you can to change, and you need to stop focusing your attention on things if they aren't helping you personally in any way. If they are even making you more upset, you especially need to focus how much attention you're giving those things and do things that make you happy, because when everything ends and the world is over or your life is over and you look back and you say, all I did was work at Taco Bell, like I'm doing now. If I'm still working at Taco Bell when I'm fucking 25, 26, I'm not going to feel good about it. But I'm not going to drop the initiative to change those things about my life, and not going to roll over and accept defeat and say this is it. Like I've spent so much time doing. I've spent too much time working at a fast food place. So you need to take the initiative. You need to make the change. And even if you catch yourself, saying, oh, I've lost so much time, you shouldn't say that's that and just give up and roll over, because that's just accepting literal defeat. You should look, I'm not saying you should be defeatist about politics either. Like, I don't want people to say, oh, you're giving up, to the other side. I'm not. I'm aware of what's happening. I'll speak on it if I care about it enough. That's as much attention as I'll give it. A few minutes to an hour. That's as much as I can care about things. Unless it's world ending, I don't care. I do care, but you shouldn't just give it your whole life's attention or make it your life's goal to own the libs or own the conservatives. That's that. I feel like I adequately addressed everything. I'm a base centrist. That's all you get out of this, and you tell me you need to go back to reading 4chan poll every day, and you need to fucking, you need to go back and do all these things, and you need to look more heavily what's going on, because there's a lot more going on than you know. I'm going to tell you, no. I know what that's like, and I know where it got me. And I know what I want now, to an extent, and I'm excited to find out more about myself and what I'm interested in and what I want to pursue doing more heavily. And I want to get out of my fast food job. I want to do all these things, but even if I catch myself in the situation, I'm not going to admit defeat like so many people do in their life. So many people give up so early on something just because they don't think it's going anywhere. Their life's not going anywhere. Don't do that. That's wrong. If you want to be a Twitch streamer and you think that's where you're going, because I'm not going to bash it, because that's kind of what I'm doing, but not really, then go for that. Even if it's something stupid. If you care enough about something, people will notice. If you give enough effort at something, they'll take a look at that and they'll understand. They can, even if you're not at the top of the world, you're streaming, you're getting 3 viewers, 4 viewers in like $10 a week. People will notice that you care, like eventually, as long as you do care. You can keep going and making these shitty streams. People might not care, but you should realize that as long as you are showing passion at something, the world will take notice eventually. And if you're not trying hard enough, the world will take notice. So just do your best to focus on what's important to you. The whole point of the story. I love you guys. Have a good day.